We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense.
There have been some explosive developments in the search for Tupac's shooter. In September of this year, Keffe D was arrested and charged for the rapper's passing in 1996. But what's crazy about the arrest is that Duane was a police suspect years earlier, although he was never convicted. And during his time in police custody, Duane allegedly made some shocking revelations about who really masterminded the hit. Duane reportedly claimed that music mogul Diddy had offered him $1 million to attack Tupac and Suge Knight. Duane had developed a reputation during his time as a member of the South Side Compton Crips, which might have made Diddy think that he was the perfect man for the job. However, years later, Diddy might have come to regret his choice after Duane actually revealed everything about what allegedly happened that fateful night in his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend. Duane had already claimed for years that he was one of just 2 living eyewitnesses who saw the incident in 1996, but not everyone knew the whole shocking truth about Duane's connection to the case, and the truth was pretty unbelievable. Duane was actually in the car with Tupac's attacker, making him an accomplice to the crime. In the aftermath of Tupac's passing, Duane made a deal that he thought would save him from being charged. He agreed to tell the police what he knew about the events of that night and believed that he would then be safe from prosecution. However, this turned out not to be correct. What the police really agreed to was that they would not charge him based on anything he told them about his part in the attack, but that did not mean that he would be safe if other evidence was found. And a couple of decades later, a shocking twist meant that might become a reality. This year, Duane's house in Henderson, Nevada was raided by the police. According to the search warrant, detectives were looking for items belonging to Duane concerning the attack on Tupac. In what the police called a great success, they found a lot of items to show to the court. Police reported collecting multiple computers, a cell phone, and a hard drive, and a Vibe magazine that featured Tupac. They also found illegal substances and firearms, as well as 2 tubes containing photographs and documents claimed to be related to a documentary. And of course, they found a copy of Duane's book. Although the police made no further comments following the reports, other people did, and what they revealed was crazy. Residents of the neighborhood identified the property where they said they saw officers detain 2 people. One neighbor said that he was woken up by the police lights shining on the house being searched. He then went outside to find out what was going on, and he claimed that he watched as a man and a woman stepped out of the house surrounded by police. Another person who reportedly had direct knowledge of the investigation said that the case was being presented to a grand jury. However, the source was not authorized to speak publicly. The man and women spotted leaving the house have not been identified. Messages from news outlets were left for Duane and his wife Paula Clemens, but were not returned. However, it wasn't clear if Duane was actually living in the searched house or if he was there when the police showed up. Las Vegas records show that there has actually been an active warrant out for his arrest since July of last year. Apparently, this was due to him failing to appear in court on a charge for illegal substances. All of this shocking news has breathed new life into the investigation, and people have been looking into what we know about Tupac's passing with more energy than ever before. There have always been a lot of wild conspiracy theories about what happened that night, but looking back, it was crazy to realize how much Duane himself has said about it through the years. After decades of silence, Duane spoke out in 2018. He said that he was finally ready to speak after being diagnosed with cancer. Duane actually admitted that he was in the front seat of the white Cadillac with his nephew Orlando Anderson. Orlando was long suspected of being the attacker, but he passed away himself a couple of years after Tupac. In an interview on BET, Duane suggested that Orlando was responsible. He said the weapon was fired from the back of the car where Orlando was sitting, but he never actually named him as the attacker, explaining that he had to stick to the code of the streets. But a year later, his book revealed a whole lot more, and some of the things he said suggested that the conspiracy theories about Tupac were true. He revealed that he had told federal and local authorities back in 2010. This was when he made the deal he thought would save him from any investigations. This came about after Duane was investigated following the loss of Biggie Smalls, which many have always thought was a revenge attack for what happened to Tupac. Before his passing, Tupac was the victim of another firearm attack that left him seriously wounded. He openly accused Biggie and Diddy of being behind the attack. At the time, these men were all involved in the most legendary and brutal West Coast, East Coast hip-hop beef ever. Not only was there some personal rivalry between Tupac and Biggie, but Biggie's partner Diddy was also looking to eliminate any and all competition in the hip-hop market. This had led to a lot of people to be convinced that Diddy was somehow involved in what happened to Tupac, and after Dune's wild claims that Diddy paid him to do it, their conviction only grew stronger. LA Weekly first reported on Dune's claim in 2011. At the time, Diddy told the LA Weekly that Dune's story was pure fiction and completely ridiculous. However, when the stories resurfaced this year after Dune's arrest, Diddy did everything he could to stay quiet, but word somehow managed to get out that Diddy was not taking the news well. This month, shortly after Dune's arrest, reports emerged that he was losing it after hearing that Dune was going to rat him out. This is the first time that Diddy has ever been reported to be worried about the investigation. Over the years, his name has been connected with Tupac's passing by many notable hip-hop figures. A few years ago, Eminem openly stated that Diddy put out the hit on Tupac in his diss song aimed at MGK. Another famous rapper who has not shied away from the Diddy rumors is 50 Cent. He has hinted heavily at Diddy's involvement several times in interviews over the years. He also talked to his crowd at a show in Lativa about it. He said that maybe the reason he talked about Diddy so much was because he took Tupac's life. 2 weeks after Dune's arrest, 50 Cent popped up on social media to take a shot at Diddy. He took to his Instagram page to write that Pac got line by Brother Love. He added that it was time for Diddy to lawyer up. The post was attached to a picture of Tupac in a black BMW with Suge Knight, which was the exact same car Tupac lost his life in. Meanwhile, Tupac's own brother was also asked for his thoughts on Diddy's alleged involvement. Prosecutors Shakur, Tupac's stepbrother, did not directly accuse Diddy as others had done, but he said that Dune's claim was definitely worth looking into and that law enforcement still had a job to do. Although there was still a lot of work left for the police to do, this breakthrough has helped to reignite interest in the case after 27 years of silence. This has also been helped by some eye-opening documents that have been released in recent years. The documentary Last Man Standing shared with the public more of the details about how the police investigation had been handled, but this has made some people feel more outraged about the lack of progress police had made up until now, as Dune has been making the same claims about Diddy for so many years. So could something have been done sooner? What do you guys think? Is Diddy really behind all this? And will anything happen if he is? Let me know in the comments below.